Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, Infidel, issue number 1. Okay, there's going to be 3 stages to this review. 1, me telling you about the comic book. 2, me telling you my qualifications to talk about what I'm about to talk about. And then 3, me talking about what I'm going to talk about. Now, we start off with this girl, Aisha, okay? She marries an infidel. Yeah, that's where this comes from. Or maybe it's the mother of this infidel. She's an infidel too. An infidel is basically, Christians call Christians call non-Christians heathens. Jews call non-Jews Gentiles. Muslims call non-Muslims infidel. So it is what it is. Deal with it. Actually, the word is kafir. But infidel is like an Americanized version, your Latinized version of that. Okay, so these 2 people are infidels, basically. And their child is technically an infidel too, I guess. It depends. I don't know, maybe. But the girl herself, she still prays and all that good stuff. I'm going to go over a bunch of the words that were used in here later. So she is haunted, apparently. She is like seriously freaking haunted. Okay, there's some kind of a ghoul that's like watching her from the shadows and doesn't let her sleep at night, really messes with her. I'm actually getting a spine tingling feeling right now. So like, dude, this is some really creepy, seriously messed up stuff. Now, there's a bunch more that happens in here. There's an overarching story. She's got her friend who, she's very feminist, okay? She's of the opinion that this girl Aisha can take care of herself, like her husband. Aisha and her husband and their daughter Chris move in with the dude's mom, okay, with the husband's mom, and the mom is a racist. Now, sometimes this can be forgiven, and this is one of those cases where I think that maybe it can, but at the same time, we found out that a month ago, she starts contacting a lawyer to try and find out if there's a way that she can get full custody of Chris and, get rid of the other 2. Or at least I'm adding in the other 2. That was just to be expected. Maybe not. I could be wrong, but yeah. So she's looking to get custody of the kid. Turns out that won't happen, whatever. So she's being nice right now. Is she actually nice? Is she just holding on? See, maybe she's trying to change things, but she's still sitting on the bus and, sits next to a black guy and she's holding on to her purse for dear life, saying like white knuckles. So, yeah. So we've all seen it. For the love of God, we've all seen it. All right? There's no being blind to it. It's life. It happens. Some people are just like that. They got a little more fear factor than everybody else does. A little bit more afraid than everybody else does, is what it is. These are usually gun owners. Okay. So what happens at this point is she keeps on seeing these or this, it could just be one monster. Now, by the end of this, they raise the question, is the grandmother the monster, the grandmother of Chris, the mother of Aisha's husband? Is this the monster? Because we see something in the reflection of a knife. Is it behind her? Is it her? Is it just a specter? Who knows? Look, the visuals in this, it's funny. At the very end of this, the very first person who comments on how good this comic book is Jacques. Jacques, who did all the art for Witches. Because I'm reading this book and I'm thinking, I haven't been this freaked out reading a comic book since Witches, since the first couple of issues of Witches at the very least. This is a frighteningly good comic book. Okay, now let's talk about my qualifications for what I'm about to talk about. I lived for 5 years, almost a full 5 years in Saudi Arabia proper. All right. I've been and worked in Egypt for some time, Bahrain, and Qatar, not Kuwait. I was thinking about Kuwait, but didn't. Was also thinking about Oman, never went. Jordan, sorry, never quite got there. But all of those were on a schedule, and then things just kind of fell out for me. But 5 years in Saudi Arabia, dude. I was a university professor. I worked. I lived there. I didn't just vacation, okay? I lived in 3 different parts. I lived on the West Coast in Jeddah, in the East Coast in Dammam, and in Riyadh, which is the capital and center, but a little bit more to the west. And and those are the 3 biggest cities in the country itself, in the kingdom. And for crying out loud, I vacationed. One of my years, I actually vacationed in a place called Hamar down there. And just, dude, a lot of fun, okay? A lot of fun. There's a lot to learn there, a lot of customs, a lot of culture. I didn't live in a compound like most Americans do. I actually went out and negotiated an apartment without walls to hang out and like actually live amongst the people, learn the language. I could talk to taxi drivers and bagala owners, small shop owners, like you would not believe. All right, I'm pretty good at this. Ana kalam Arabiya lakon shwe shwe. Yeah, I'm on point, dude. I'm good. So I tell you all of this so you get the idea that I have gone in, I have sat with people, couches, floors, whatever, talk to believers, non-believers, talk to people about the mythologies, the pre-Islamic mythologies, the actual Islamic religion, and just like I've talked to Christians who are there, and you name it, dude, you name it. Been all over. I know the area, I know the language, I know the people, I know the theologies, all right? So this comic is freaking on point. Holy crap, this comic is on point. You name it, yes, it's true. Dude, there are some people who are really scared, okay? People who are Muslim, people who are not Muslim. You know what I'm saying? And you could bring up examples and everything. Just there's fear everywhere you go, and the fear just compounds. So is this just a fear of, you know, like this xenophobia on both sides? Aisha doesn't seem to be showing a bunch of fear. She'll see racism sometimes, but she doesn't really do much with it. She kind of bottles it in. And I know people who bottle fear in, who bottle in stress, who bottle in everything, anything. Winds up getting agita because of it. So is she just projecting this into the form of a rule? A ghul, this is where the word ghoul comes from. A ghul is a kind of jinn. A jinn is people say a genie. A genie. No, a genie is actually plural of jinn. So no, but there's different kinds of jinn. These are spirits. They were created after angels, but before man, and they were created from the smokeless flame of fire. Really cool, right? Really cool. So there's different kinds. There's the ifrit, who are really strong and, you know, made of like, you know, pure fire, and at the same, or kind of, and then there are the ghul, and these are the shapeshifters, and the scariest thing they could do to you is show you their true face. Yeah, there are lots of different kinds, and there's some serious horror stories going on in this world. Like, there's so much mythology, dude, that it's frightening, and the stories that people tell afterwards, it really can keep you up at night. You know what I'm saying? And they've got a lot of the same myths that we've got here about like the what do you call it, night terrors, when you freeze up. You know what I'm saying? You wake up and it feels like something's on your chest and you can't wake up. You know, we got a scientific explanation for that, but that's boring. No. It's monsters sitting on my chest, you know what I'm saying, preventing me from moving. You know, the night terrors. So like it's great. So when I'm reading this comic book, I'm generally wondering, is this just Aisha's fear that she's trying to manifest in a different way, instead of saying, oh yeah, you know, there's a mystery there. There was some kind of a bombing. They live in the Lower East Side. They live in the apartment where there was just a bombing recently. It was a rogue element, and a bunch of people wind up moving out because of it, and blah, blah, crazy things. But was it actually a terrorist element? Was she the one who actually wound up doing it? Who knows? There's such a mystery here. It's great. It's sick. There's several words that are used in Arabic. Dua, or first off, haram is one of them. Haram. Haram. Haram means forbidden. You're not allowed to do it. Dua and salat. Okay. Something that Christians don't have. Christians do not have a separation between praying to God and the act of praying to God. Okay, praying just means asking God for whatever you want, and you know like this or like this. I went to Sunday school, and you know all that good stuff. Muslims have a separation of those things. So dua is actually asking God for something, and it's usually cupping the hands and, oh God, please give me such, oh Allah, please give me such and such, right? And salat is the ritual that you actually see when, and all that stuff, right? There's actually a separation for those things. Arabic is a ridiculously rich language, man. It's one of the Semitic languages. It's one of the original languages on this earth. It is lush. There's so much to it. They've got multiple words for a thing that sometimes we don't even have a word for in English. No, I'm serious. No joke. They've got verbs that we don't have. So it's a very, very elaborate, exquisite language. Really hard to learn. People say English is one of the hardest languages. Get out of here. Shut up. No, it's not. I taught English. I am an English professor. It is not a hard language to learn. Some of the grammatical texts are hard because time is involved in everything that we say. I'm going to teach this. Time. I'm going to. I haven't done yet, but I shall at some point. I will have to be there pretty soon. Will have to. Like all the to be verbs that are there. There's a lot. Time is in everything that we say, and no other language has that. But the other languages have a bunch of other things involved in them. So there's that. Anyway, Arabic, really hard language to learn. And when you start to get into the grammar of it, nope, forget it, you're done. You're done. Most people can't learn Arabic. It's that hard. Anyway, there's a lot in here, but there's not a lot that will actually turn you away from the book. There's some words that maybe you won't understand, like those three. I don't remember there being anything else. If there was, in the comments, please. I'll probably know the word and I could probably help you out with it. But seriously, and everybody will benefit from it. But this was, wow. Look, all I'm saying is, first off, A for this comic book. Wow. And two, I haven't been a little freaked out reading a comic book in some time. So I think I'm going to go under the covers. But in order to get there, I'm going to have some protection, man. Because this was freaky, dude. This was a freaky comic book. In all seriousness, though, man, I loved this. This was great. I can't wait to read issue 2. I finally got another indie comic that I'm going to be reading the heck out of now. Awesome. I'm down. All right, guys, that's it for me. Also, I'm not going to try and pronounce the author's name, because if it is what I think it is, cool. But if it's not, I'm going to say it the wrong way. Yeah, I don't want to get that wrong. Anyway, go look it up. Yeah, that's it. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.